welcome to OnSide SA. We're going to give you the latest updates on last one standing. Budge, what's the latest?
Paul, pressure time for the two, Dean and Tracy. They were both successful on Bournemouth, but they've only got 5 options left, Paul, so it's not going to be easy for them. They've got their banker set aside for next week, but...
Any idea who they're on this week?
No, not so far. I have liaised with them, but it's strategy, Paul. They've worked out next week who they're going to go for. That's their best selection. Now they're working backwards. So of the teams they've got to go, they've both got Crystal Palace, Everton, Ipswich and Southampton, and Tracy can use Wolves and Dean can use Fulham. So those are the 5. Those are the 5 options. So everybody will be kept informed as normal, Paul. And good luck to the guys.
Let's go to the main one, which has had 5 weeks, and there's only 16 people left. Man City, funny enough, took 2 out. Arsenal took 1 out. So incredible. The top teams. Villa went through with 13, and West Ham went through with 3. So those are the results. One lady, Budge.
Tracy hanging tough, Paul. Yeah.
Tracy Anderson, 2 former champions, the postman, Lance Whiteford, and Tubbs Riddell in Texas.
Yeah, Andrew in Texas.
1 international, eh? Oh, you're not qualified?
Well, no, they don't go. Andrew's obviously a former champion.
Yeah. Steve Griffiths.
UK.
Locals, here we go. Selwyn Elk,
yeah.
Tony Bargate, Mark Marinkovitz, Joe Soma, the humble hero, still going well. Rion Diaga, Graham Parsons, Mark Jackson, Mark Alexander, and Robert Garner's got 2. So has Robbie Tallon. Oh, they've got a shout.
Paul, it's Gareth Parsons. Not did I make him a...
What did we got
Gareth. Here? You put Graham there.
Sorry, it's Gareth. Sorry.
No panic.
Teams that can still be used. Arsenal 2, Chelsea 3, Liverpool 2, and Man City 7.
Well, Man City, Man United. Paul, I just put the odds-on shots this week. A lot of guys can use Newcastle. I think everybody bar one can use Tottenham, so I don't know how far that'll go. But those are the popular sides, Paul. There've been a few guys come through, but
16 left.
16 left. Yeah, guys. 12:30 Saturday.
5 weeks.
5 weeks, Paul.
Very, very, very damaging one. This. Right, let's get our man, Stevie B, in the Fulham studio. Steve, are you about?
I'm here, good morning.
Morning, Steve.
Champions League, Steve. Girona 0, Liverpool 1. Now, I watched quite a bit of it. Liverpool was like a Sunday League game. Liverpool were cruising.
Yeah, I mean, Girona are not the team they were last season. They sort of, they're sort of made up of quite a few ex-sort of Premier League players who not quite at the level of Liverpool. Yeah, I mean, it was, I'd say they made sort of hard work of it in some respects. They probably should have killed the game, but 6 wins out of 6. They've got, they probably don't need more than another point to guarantee finishing in the top 8, which is quite an achievement.
I watched the game. I see the aptly named Blind missed an open goal. He just kicked it.
And who gave the penalty away?
Who?
Donny van der Beek, another Man United boy, but comfortable victory for Liverpool. They're going well. I didn't see it. RB Leipzig 2, Aston Villa 3.
Yeah, I saw the highlights. It was a good result. I mean, Leipzig have struggled. They've lost all 6 games, but it's a good result for Villa, and they're in pole position to finish in that top 8. Another win could do it for them. So, they've done well. 4 wins and a draw out of their 6 games. They've done well.
Yeah, Arsenal 3, Monaco 0. Comfortable?
Pretty comfortable. But Monaco gave them a game in the second half and pressed forward. Minamino came on, looked dangerous, but once they got the second, it was all over. So again, Arsenal got themselves up into that top 8, and with a couple of decent sort of games to come. So I think they're in a good position as well. Yeah,
Juventus 2, Man City 0. The slide continues.
Absolutely. I mean, I watched quite a bit of that, and City had so much of the ball, but they were just so slow. And every time they got anywhere near the Juventus penalty area, there were sort of 10, 11 black and white shirts behind the ball, and in the end, they caught City twice with breakaways, and very disappointing again. And they're in trouble now because they're only on 8 points. They're a point clear of the sort of automatic dropout, and they play PSG away in their next game.
Club Rouge
I
at
think
home,
that
so.
they might not get anything there, but then Bruges at home. I think if they win that, they'll just get into the playoffs. But it's very unconvincing at the moment.
Yeah. Steve, a couple of games on tonight. Victoria Pilsen against Man United. Championship side against Man United. Surely United have got to get a result there.
Yeah, well, and they need to as well if they want to have any aspirations of sort of finishing sort of high up. But they won the last couple, United, but they certainly need to play a strong side and get a result there. And I think they should.
Yeah.
I think that
big game,
they're
Paul.
not the worst team.
Yeah, let's hope so, Steve. You just never know with United, though. And Rangers Tottenham, be a bit of nice atmosphere in Ibrox.
Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Scottish football teams.
Yeah.
I really don't think they're that good. We've just come off what was a torrid defensive show, giving away 2 penalties. Now they'll have a full go. I hope he plays the younger guys he brought on late.
Yeah, got to start them somewhere.
Got to start them somewhere. Now I think we'll win.
Steve, should be a good game. Rangers Tottenham.
Yeah, we'll do it. Obviously, huge game. I mean, Rangers are, have brilliant acquitted themselves in the last few seasons in Europe, and this is a big game for them. They want to, see where they are. Certainly against an English team, and obviously, the atmosphere there. But this is the start of a very difficult run for Tottenham in the next 10, 11 days with 4 games, and I think if they come away with anything, they'll be doing well tonight.
Yeah, I think they'll win easy. In the last game, we've got Chelsea Innersteiner with his second team. Another comfortable victory, Steve, so we won't discuss that. On to the Premiership for the weekend. And strangers know Saturday lunchtime kickoff, but Arsenal, fine form, Steve, against Everton. Any chance of an upset?
No, I mean, they're both the dead ball specialists. You don't really know with Everton. I mean, they've come to London before and got hammered by Tottenham. Arsenal have got to get back onto winning ways. Obviously, they dropped points at Fulham at the weekend. They can't afford to drop points again if Liverpool get a result. So I think I'd be surprised if it's anything other than a home win for Arsenal. Yeah,
the key is, can Everton score? That's the trick. The danger from set pieces. You never know with Arsenal after the midweek European game. But for me, over 3.5 bookings at 9 to 10. I think that's a gift, but Arsenal comfortably. Another home victory, Steve, for Liverpool against your beloved Fulham?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we are without, slightly annoyingly, we're without our main centre halves. Bassi is suspended and Anderson is more than likely still out injured. We've picked up points in the last few games that I don't think people expected us to. So Liverpool, I think, will just carry on as they are. Whether we can score, we're capable, but I think Liverpool should be comfortable, at least a 2-goal win.
Yeah, I think you catch them on the break, Steve. You've done that at Man City, and that was at the start of Man City when I think it was the last game they won. 16-10, Liverpool to win, both teams to score. I think that's a great bet. Newcastle, Leicester, Ruud van Nistelrooy, 2 games, 4 points. Can he upset the apple cart?
Well, he can. Although it's interesting, in those 2 games, they've done well, but they've been up against it in both games. They've been they could try against West Ham. I mean, they won, but conceded over 30 shots. Yeah. Newcastle, very up and down. You're not sure what you're going to get. But at home, if you look at how they played in their last home game against Liverpool, if they produce anything like that, they should win comfortably. So it could go either way, but I suspect Newcastle at home be too strong.
Yeah, I think the goals are absolute formality. I looked at 2.5 goals over 5 to 10. I brassed that. I took 12.5 to 10, Steve, over 3.5 goals. As you say, Leicester concede chances. Newcastle can score. So I hummed and hawed whether it was Newcastle to score over 2.5 goals or over 3.5 total goals. So I went over 3.5 total goals in that particular game. Big game of the weekend at the bottom, Steve. Wolves, Ipswich. Can Ipswich pull off a shock?
I'm not sure they can. I mean, they can. They're capable, but they've let a lot of leads slip, and I think they're going to catch up with them. Wolves were unlucky at West Ham, I thought, the other night, and this is a must-win for them particularly. I've got a feeling, I think of the 2, I fancy Wolves, but Ipswich make themselves hard to beat. They've drawn a lot, and I think there'll certainly be goals. Yeah, I like Wolves. I don't see Ipswich beating them. I've been really impressed with them in their defeats. I like the fight that the guy that I think was the captain. He was cursing and swearing at his own players when he walked off the other night. I like the fight they've got. Ipswich, I thought, would beat Bournemouth. I went for them to cause the upset, but they conceded 2 goals in the last couple of minutes. I fancy Wolves, but my bet is over 2.5 goals.
Both teams to score, yes. It's a game they both have to win. I think goals are guaranteed. Notts Forest, Aston Villa, Steve. Who do you fancy?
Yeah, look, well, Forest at home have been pretty strong, and obviously that win last week at Old Trafford. I don't think that a lot of people saw that coming necessarily. So they're going to be buoyed. Villa, look, had a good European win, but they need to. They've won their last couple at home in the league. I think this could be a good game. I'm looking at a sort of score draw here. I can see goals for sure.
Yeah, I fancy Forest, Steve. Scored 2 goals, 12-10. I've been really impressed. They've got that guy, reminds me of Nemanja Vidic at the back. I think he's Milenkovic. Is he Serbian, Croatian?
Yeah,
he crunches players. And I just don't trust Aston Villa after European games. Great result in Germany against Leipzig. I fancy Notts Forest here. I think there's an upset coming. On to our second page, and we've got Brighton Crystal Palace. It's a derby of some sort. What is the name of the derby, Steve?
It's the M23 derby.
M23 derby. Who do you?
So look, Brighton I think will certainly start as favourites. There's no love lost between them, but I think Brighton should certainly start as favourites. Palace have shown a bit of fight. Obviously, a good point with in the last few games they've sort of won away and they got a good point at home to City. But I think Brighton should be too strong.
I just don't trust them, Steve. They play at home. Remember they should have lost to Southampton. Southampton had great chances. They are the better team, but Crystal Palace, since they're sort of playing the 3 at the back, are hard to break down. I think 29-10, the draw is a great price. But I think that could go either way. I just don't trust Brighton at home, but I can see why they're favourites. The Manchester Derby. Has there ever been a time where these two clubs have come in worse form?
Not in recent memory. I can't think of it. Or at least one of them has been has been struggling, but not both. It's hard to see beyond the City win, but you just don't know. You just don't know what you're going to get with City at the moment. They've rolled United in the league more recently at home, but this is a huge game for both of them. Neither can afford to lose it, I think.
Yeah, I don't trust either. Bookings, red cards, anything's possible, but on form. If Man City can't win this, they've lost 7 out of the last 10 in all competitions. If they can't beat a Man United team who are woeful, wouldn't surprise me if Pep does a runner in January. Or he's got to bring players in, there's no doubt about that, but let's hope it's a thriller. Chelsea, who are the form team in the league at the moment, too good for Brentford, Steve?
Yeah, they should be. I mean, I wouldn't think that any of the starters at the weekend will be have travelled over, let alone play over in Kazakhstan. So they'll be fresh. Bournemouth, Brentford, keep winning at home, away 1 point. So either that duck is going to break. But you just think I think there'll be goals. I think both teams will score, but Chelsea should be too strong.
Yeah, I think Chelsea will win, both teams to score. That's my selection. Southampton, Tottenham. Steve, by the sounds of it, you think this could be the upset of the weekend?
Well, look, Tottenham are leaking goals. They've got injuries and they've got a tough game tonight. Southampton can't buy a win. I mean, they're really struggling and they can't afford to lose it. But on paper, you'd think Tottenham should go there and roll them. And if they play as they have done at City or United, they surely will. But you just don't know what you're going to get. And I think Paul is probably more frustrated with them than anyone.
Yeah,
I think we'll beat Southampton. I think we've got too much quality for them. They try hard. They were unlucky the other day, Southampton. I watched them. They have a go. And now they're really in the corner. They've got to have a go. But I think we'll have too much quality for them. Let's see what happens tonight.
Yeah, for me, I don't know what the manager's trying to do. He's on last chance saloon. This playing out from the back, they got caught again. And if you're going to do that against Spurs...
He's not on last chance saloon. Let's watch the whole report on the whole board and Levy and that said nowhere near. They said
no, not Ange. I'm talking about the Southampton...
Oh, sorry. I just
no, Ange is certain to stay on.
Yeah.
Now that Russell Martin. You cannot give those are Sunday League goals.
He gives the worst goals away at the back. What's that guy's goal's name? I can't believe the mistake he makes.
Well, Ramsdale, maybe he's fit again, but you doubt it. But McCarthy was the other goalkeeper. But you cannot, Steve.
Lumley.
If I'm Lumley,
yeah.
No, if the way they start, they're going to give Spurs at least a goal. And if ever you don't give a team, you don't. Spurs under pressure. This is a game I think could be an upset. Anyone but Southampton, because you can't play out from the back, Steve. And they're going to give Spurs 2 goals, and it wouldn't surprise me if it's a 4-2.
Yeah.
4. That's why I think goals are plenty. 4.5 goals, 18-10. I like Spurs to win and over 3.5 goals at 18-10. But this could be an upset, but I don't trust that Russell Martin. How he's still in the job is beyond me. And last but not least,
Monday night
against West Ham, Steve. I think this will be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, look, West Ham, you're not quite sure what you're going to get. One week they play well, the next week not.
Yeah.
You know, they had a good win at Newcastle, then unlucky at Leicester. Big game against Wolves in El Sacico, as the pundits were calling it. Bournemouth, though, had some big wins this season.
El Sacico.
So, I think there'll certainly be goals.
Yeah.
I think there'll certainly be goals in this.
Yeah, I fancy Bournemouth. Yeah, West Ham were lucky against Wolves. How they never got a penalty amazed me. This VAR thing, just rather scrap it and get on with it. But I fancy Bournemouth. But you never know with West Ham. From set pieces, I'll be a threat. But Bournemouth all day for me. On to the championship, and we did have midweek games. We won't go through the results, but Friday night, Steve, Derby, Portsmouth. Two teams that got promoted.
Yeah, I mean, Derby at home have been strong, and although Portsmouth has certainly picked up recently, you'd think that Derby might just be a little bit too strong for them.
Yeah, I just don't trust Portsmouth at home. I went for them to score. They drew 0-0, cost me my bet in midweek. Agree with Derby, but they played well at Preston when they drew. But 9-10 is a bit short for my liking. Bristol City, lunchtime kickoff. They're going well, Bristol City, but QPR have improved. I took even money both teams to score, Steve. Have I got a chance?
Yeah, I mean, the QPR won the last couple. One last night, one at the weekend.
Yep.
Pulled themselves out of the bottom three. As you say, Bristol City could have won the other night. They played well, but I think you're right. I think this is either looking like a home win or maybe a score draw.
Yeah, agree. This Bristol City at home, they catch me all the time. I'll tell about a story about them next time. Bristol City, a couple of games time. Steve, I fancy Coventry City all day to beat Hull City. I can't believe since firing your ex-Fulham man, they're now bottom of the league, Hull City.
Yeah, I mean they've got a new manager, Ruben Telles, who they got from Reading, and they were almost on for a win last night. Scored a late goal until Watford equalised. But I think and Coventry, well, by the sounds of it, were a little bit unlucky last night. West Brom had a lot of the game, but conceded a couple. I think you're right. I think Coventry certainly be favourites.
Yeah, 8-10 in all my bets. Preston at home to Leeds United. I watched the Leeds Middlesbrough game, Steve. I know they scored too late. They're just having a full go, Leeds. There should be goals in this. My only drawback against Leeds is their lunchtime kickoffs sometimes cause an upset, and I'm hoping that's the case here. But from what I've seen, this should be a comfortable Leeds United victory.
Yeah, I mean, Preston, got their first away win of the season last night away at Cardiff. So a good result for them. But Leeds should be too strong. I mean, they're in the top two. They're scoring goals.
Yeah.
They get ahead. They're hard to sort of pull back. So I'm thinking an away win. But Preston are capable of scoring. But I think Leeds should win that.
Yeah, over 2.5 goals, even money. Even though I'm hoping my boys can get a point. On to our second page, and Blackburn versus Luton Town. Blackburn going great guns at the moment. Another home victory?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're doing really well. They've had a bit of a wobble, but they've come back strongly in the last sort of month or so. And although Luton, again, you're not sure what you're going to get, and they're decent at home, but they're not picking up many points away. So for me, I think that those are good odds. I'm going to go for a Blackburn home win. Yeah,
the only thing about Blackburn, Steve, I was at the Preston game where our centre forward bit their left back. They're a little bit short in defence, and one thing Luton can do is score from set pieces. So, I know everyone's going to lump onto Blackburn, but I think Luton Town will score. So my suggestion would be Blackburn to win, both teams to score, like trade under 3-1. Middlesbrough, Steve, I was impressed, even though they did lose to Leeds. They played well. They played well on the Friday night prior to that when they drew with Burnley. Millwall are hard to beat, but I've got to side with Middlesbrough. Do you agree?
Yeah, Millwall are hard to beat, but they've just lost 2 home games in a row.
Yeah.
One to Coventry, one to Sheffield United, and their manager is leaving by mutual consent. We're not quite sure why. It's his second stint there, Neil Harris. So we're not sure what's happening there, and they've just gone off the boil. They'd had a good run, Millwall, but those 2 home wins. So I'm not sure you can bet I don't think Mill will get anything there.
Yeah, Middlesbrough. Michael Carrick going well. Oxford, Sheffield Wednesday. Steve, they cost me money last night, Oxford United. I thought they'd score at QPR. Can't score at QPR against the Sheffield Wednesday team who've won 3 and lost 1. And that away defeat was at Sheffield United. I fancy the away team here. How do you see it though?
Yeah, I think there'll be goals. I think Oxford tend to score at home, but I think you're right. I think Sheffield Wednesday might get a result. Oxford have been trying, by all accounts, yesterday. They had a lot of the ball and a few chances in the first half, but then got caught out in the second. I think they're just starting to slip down a bit, and I think Sheffield Wednesday will take advantage.
Yeah, 1 win in 14 doesn't give me confidence. Oxford United 1-3 Sheffield United. Surely that's got to be the bet of the year at home against Plymouth.
You would think so. I mean, Plymouth can't pick up a point at the moment, and away they've obviously conceded a shed load, and Sheffield United are just continuing their run and doing very well, sitting at the top of the table. Yeah. So, I think it's 0-point for Rooney at the weekend.
37-10, over 2.5 goals, both teams to score no. They've won their last 8 at home, Sheffield United, without conceding a goal. So that's my suggestion in that game. On to our final page, and we've got Stoke City hosting Cardiff City. Should be a tight game, Steve.
Yeah, I think so. Cardiff, did have a little bit of a run under the new manager, but a poor result for them last night. I think Stoke at home should be a little bit too strong.
And Cardiff's defence, Steve, I watched the 5-minute highlights. Had Preston cleared 2 off the line. Cardiff scored the first goal for Preston, got caught late. So I wouldn't that result, for the highlights that I've seen, Cardiff reportedly had many chances. But I went both teams to score here. Don't trust either side. But 5-2 looks a decent play on the draw line. Swansea City, Sunderland, Steve. Sunderland can't stop drawing.
Yeah, they have gone on. I mean, these are the sort of games they were winning at the beginning of the season. But Swansea have picked up. They're making themselves hard to beat. Had a good win the other night. I think that at the very least, Swansea will get a point out of this. Yeah,
another tight game. Final 2 games should be a good game. Watford in great form at home against an improving West Brom. They've won their last couple, West Brom, Steve. This could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, I think Watford have the edge because of their home record. West Brom have drawn a lot of games. Yeah. In fact, until the other day, they'd drawn 10 out of 11. But Watford at home, you've got one of the best home records in the league. I think behind Sheffield United. So to me, I'm with Watford.
It's Watford, eh? Yeah, I think there'll be goals. I think West Brom have now realised they can't keep drawing to get an automatic promotion. So it could go either way for me. Sunday game, I think there's guaranteed goals here, Steve. But which way do you see it going? Norwich City versus Burnley.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I mean, Norwich are at home are scoring goals. Yeah. Burnley obviously don't score that many, but keep it tight. Norwich, for me, I think Norwich should start as favourites. But they're going to need to score first because I think Burnley will shut up shop if they do otherwise. So I think there'll be goals, but I just think Norwich might just edge it. Yeah,
I hope so. One defeat in the last 25, and that was against Bristol City. So could go. I think there'll be goals in that particular game. Steve, pressure time again. I need your best bet and value bet, please.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go for Blackburn as my best bet. I think
thought you would.
The fact that their odds are sort of plus, I think that at home with their run. And my value, I'm going to go for Watford. I think that those are very good odds for a team that have won pretty much every home game.
Yeah, 7 wins, 2 draws. Steve, I'm changing. I'm on Inter Milan. I think it's a Monday night game against Lazio. I think they're dark horses to win the Champions League. Really impressed. They were like 11-10. I thought great price. And my value bet is Notts Forest. Aston Villa have let me down many a time after Europe. So I'm going to chance them. I know there are a few championship sides at decent prices. But, Notts Forest deservedly won last week at Old Trafford. And I think they'll be hard to beat again at home against Aston Villa. Steve, thanks as always.
Thanks very much.
Speak to you over the weekend.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah, cheers. Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Budge PSL fixtures. Here we go.
Here we go. AmaZulu, great result last week. They won in Umlazi, and surprisingly, they're playing there again.
Yeah.
Paul, since Royal AM moved from Chatsworth Stadium to Harry Gwala in Maritzburg, they've been woeful.
Have they?
And this is a great chance for AmaZulu to continue their run, Paul. I know the draw's always a runner in PSL games, but I like AmaZulu. Also, Golden Arrows, Paul, they score goals. Richards Bay can't score goals. I think they've scored 3 goals this year. You never know what can happen on the day. This is in Hammersdale, but I don't see Golden Arrows losing. Chipper United, Paul, this game's in East London. I can't believe how bad Cape Town City have been away from home. I can't believe the betting's that way. They've lost their last four away from home. Another talented side. But Chipper don't get beat at home too often, Paul. So Chipper and the draw for me there. On to our second page, Supersport Magezi. I watched that game, Paul. Terrible game they drew. It was 0-0 right the way through. They scored last minute. They won last week. They beat Richards Bay. I nearly took 11-2, a 0-0 draw. So on that assumption, they've surely got to get a result. Clint Larson, they've won the cup, Magezi. They won the League Cup. The boys better wake up, otherwise they're in relegation dogfight. But Gavin's team don't score too many goals. I think it's 3 goals they've scored, but this is a great chance to continue their winning run. Polokwane, Paul, of all the PSL games, they beat Chiefs fair and square. They beat Sundowns fair and square at home. 11-10, Paul. Maruma Gallets from Bloemfontein. Damn, my man Molasela not going too well. 11-10, Polokwane, I think, is a good bet. Chiefs cost me last week, Paul. 15-10, and that was a good price. They got well beat. Yeah, TS Galaxy, the game's in Pretoria. Yeah, sorry, the game's in Nelspruit. I'm expecting Chiefs to rebound, Paul, but that last week was a terrible result, so they won't have my money again, Paul, yeah. But Polokwane, the best bet in the PSL.
Okay, at 11-10, eh?
11-10, yeah.
All right, Budge, let's go on to your best
On
bets.
to exotics first, Paul, and I'm going Bristol City, win and draw at home against QPR. Bankreek, Coventry City to beat Hull City. Leeds United to win at Preston North End. The field in the Espanyol Osasuna game. Atalanta, surprisingly top of the Serie A, win and draw at Cagliari. And the field in the Swansea City Sunderland match, 2-1-6. On to the second soccer 6. I've gone the field in the Golden Arrows Richards Bay game. Bankering Newcastle United to beat Leicester. I don't see Wolves losing at home to Ipswich Town. Real Mallorca chancing them to beat Girona. The field in the Chipper United Cape Town City fixture. And Champions League game, I think it's in the Ivory Coast, Abidjan. Don't see Orlando Pirates winning there. So I've gone the home team and draw, 2-1-6. On to the soccer 10 for the weekend. I've gone the field in the Golden Arrows Richards Bay game. 3 bankers, Arsenal to beat Everton, Liverpool to beat Fulham, and Newcastle to beat Leicester. Wolverhampton Wanderers win and draw at home against Ipswich Town. On to the second page, Real Mallorca win and draw against Girona. The field in the Chipper United versus Cape Town City game. Marseille win and draw at home against Lille. Stade Abidjan win and draw at home against Orlando Pirates, and Napoli to get back to winning ways against Udinese, 2-88. On to the soccer 13, I'm going the field in the Notts Forest Aston Villa game. 3 bankers, Arsenal Everton, Liverpool Fulham, and Newcastle Leicester City. Wolves win and draw at home against Ipswich Town. Blackburn Rovers to be too good at home for Luton Town, and Middlesbrough to be too strong at home for Millwall. On to the second page, I'm going Sheffield Wednesday to avoid defeat at Oxford United. Sheffield United to be too strong at home for Plymouth Argyle. Stoke City win and draw at home against Cardiff City. The field in the Swansea City versus Sunderland game. Exeter City win and draw at home against Barnsley, and Reading to be too strong for Steve's Bruce Blackpool, 288. Onto our budgies bets for the weekend. I'm going Liverpool and Chelsea to win and both teams to score in both games. So that's Liverpool home to Fulham, and over 2.5 goals, both teams to score in the Wolves Ipswich game, and over 3.5 goals in the Newcastle Leicester clash, 5,000 to 200. Our team goals only, I'm going Notts Forest and Bournemouth to score over 1.5 goals, and Chelsea and Tottenham to score over 2.5 goals, 3,000 to 200. Onto the championship, I'm going Coventry City to beat Hull City. Over 2.5 total goals, both teams to score no. Sheffield United, Plymouth Argyle, that's one team to win 3-0, 4-0. That's our suggestion there. And over 2.5 goals in the Sunday game between Norwich City and Burnley, 3,400 to 200. Both teams to score sides are Bristol City, QPR, Blackburn, Luton Town, Stoke City, Cardiff City, and Norwich City, Burnley, 2,400 to 200. On to Spain, I'm going Real Madrid to beat Rayo Vallecano and both teams to score. I'm going Villarreal to beat Real Betis at home and both teams to score in the Espanyol Osasuna and Sevilla Celta Vigo match, 4,000 to 200. And our Collis King, 6 or Nixa. I'm going Liverpool to beat Fulham, Chelsea to beat Brentford, Coventry to beat Hull City, Sheffield United to beat Plymouth, Atletico Madrid to beat Getafe, and Inter Milan to beat Lazio, 3,600 to 200.
Some good bets there,
Paul,
some good bets. I really like the second one you put up there, where Notts Forest and Bournemouth to get to score over 1.5 goals.
Well, you've got to side with one or two of the lesser teams because they're just shading the prices. Paul.
Yeah, that's all they do, you know. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. The last one standing comes up as well, so don't forget that. Get your bets on. There's 2 left in the first one, 16 left in the second one. Till next time, stay on side.